This right here is my Peace Lily Paludarium that is escaped inside of a 6-gallon lung that is inhabited by my beautiful short-fin koi Betta named King Ghidorah. When I first built this scape, I was taking on a lot at once. For one, it was the first time ever doing a paludarium. I've never done a paludarium before. It was the first time doing a black water tank, which for those of you who've been following the journey of this tank, you know that it didn't stay black water for very long. Because lo and behold, you have to be very deliberate about the tannins going into the water, which I did not keep up on, but I digress. And it was also the first time I've ever tried to integrate a waterfall feature into one of my aquariums, like an aquatic environment, you know, not like a terrarium with a little stream going through it. I think the coolest thing about this whole thing, this whole process was, you know, having this big, tall peace lily that was grown in a nursery, and you know, when I put it in the water, it died back. You know, I thought it was done for good, but it actually ended up growing back. It ended up growing back shorter, but wider and a lot more dense. We lost the flower, but the plant is just looking really vibrant and dense, and it looks awesome. Overall, this aquarium was really fun to watch, and it was constantly evolving, constantly changing, and just a lot of cool things were happening with it. But I would be lying to you if I told you that this aquarium didn't have any shortcomings that may or may not have been my fault. With the use of an internal mechanical filter and some tubing, I had made a sort of water feature that was also the filter. Now the whole idea was, since this tank was very hardscape heavy in the center, there wasn't a whole lot of water flow going from the left to the right side, so the idea was to have the water pump on the left side and the waterfall come out of the right side of the hardscape. So that way, even though there was a lot of hardscape in the center and a lack of water flow, with the implementation of this waterfall, we could then get water stern through the entire thing. That was the idea anyway. It didn't work out so well, and the waterfall's edge was way too close to the edge of the tank. At some point, it was spraying water out. You know, it was getting on the floor. I had left for like maybe 2 days. I came home and there was water on the floor. And I had since then fixed that whole issue with, you know, sponge and silicone and just kind of moving things around. But then it became gunked up with, you know, brown algae and mulm, and it was a nightmare to service. Now that everything was like locked in, it was awful. It was, it was awful. So because of this, I kind of just did away with the water feature entirely. Now, when I got rid of the water feature, I had lost the ability to circulate water through the tank. I had also lost the whole filtration feature that I had also integrated with the water feature, because I was using an internal filter as the pump, right? See where I'm going? So to kind of counteract this, I just used an Oase Biocompact internal filter on the right side of the tank. But I wasn't so happy about it because it just kind of felt like a cop-out. Like I had spent so much time on the whole waterfall feature only for it to not work, and just to resort to a internal filter. But to make matters worse, since we no longer had water flowing from the left side to the right side of the hardscape, this was a combination of having circulation only in one part of the tank and having stagnant water pockets everywhere, but then also having spot lighting. It just wasn't a good combination, and cyanobacteria was just rampant in this tank. One of the biggest contributions to blue green algae outbreaks is simply just the nutrient base in the water not being evenly distributed. So yeah, if you have like a filterless tank, or maybe a tank with not good flow, you have hardscape that is kind of limiting, that is kind of quartering certain pockets of water in certain areas. That's kind of how that happens, and I'm fairly certain that's what happened here. For a while, I was considering having some Lilly pipe inlet and outlets with a canister filter to kind of remap the flow of the water in here. But the more I thought about it, the more I was just thinking, I kind of want to just take what I learned from my shortcomings, and I want to just put it towards something bigger and better. So that's what we're going to do. We're taking this tank apart, and I hate to see it go, but as much as I love this tank, and as much as I want to salvage it and keep holding on to it, I think we've learned a lot from this, and I think we can do a whole lot better. So let's enjoy it one last time.